Okay, today I'm going to give you a little bit of background information on the biography and the paintings for Diego Rivera. He was born on December 8, 1886 in Guanajuato, Mexico. He is Mexican. He died in Mexico City at the age of 70 on November the 24th, 1957. He attended school in San Carlos Academy of Fine Arts. He also married a fellow Mexican artist, which was named Frida Kahlo. He was a painting and a muralist. His full name is Diego María de la Concepción Juan Nepomuceno Estanislao de la Rivera. He also had a lot of his paintings which were at the Frida Kahlo Museum, which was landscape and was done on 1911. And he did his large frescoes help establish the Mexican mural movement, which is the Mexican art. One of his greater paintings, The Detail of the Man of the Crossroads, which was a fresco that was at the Palacios de Bellas Artes, and that was showing Vladimir Lenin. In 1931, a retrospective exhibition of his work was held in the Museum of the Modern Art in New York City. Between the 1922 and the 1953, Diego Rivera painted the murals, among others, in Mexico City. There was also in Cualipango, Cuernavaca, San Francisco, Detroit, and New York. He also had a said portrait with raw Vladimir hat, and that was on 1907.
Mural of the Man at the Crossroads. So back then, Diego Rivera was commissioned to create a mural for the Rockefeller Center that the theme should be that of a man at the crossroads, looking at hope, with hope and high vision to choosing a new and a better life. So basically, a portrait that symbolized high hopes and a better life and a good life. So he wasn't even done with it when the people saw what he was doing, and when the people saw what he was doing, they didn't expect it. They were very upset that they actually protested and rioted. They rioted because there was a picture of Lenin, who back then was a communist leader. So they didn't like seeing Lenin on the portrait. So they were upset. So they protested. They wanted for Mr. Rockefeller to take the mural down, and so he did. He took it down. He ordered it to be burned. So on the right side of the mural, communism is depicted as being peaceful with its iconic symbol of Vladimir Lenin, unifying people through the joining of hands. On the left side of the mural, capitalism is depicted as violent and chaotic, with John Rockefeller drinking liquor and being surrounded by women drinking and smoking. There was also policemen on horseback beating down protesters and soldiers carrying flamethrowers. So this explains why the people were upset of the mural, because it's usually the opposite. In communism, you see smoking people and violent, chaotic people. And in capitalism, usually it's peaceful. Well, not always, but it's normally peaceful.
These are the two versions of the mural. The first one is the original sketch of what David Rockefeller Sr. wanted it to look like. And the bottom is what Diego Rivera did. If you look at both, you can see the correlation of the artists. They are some similarities with the statues in the corners. See right here, there's that one. And vaguely, there's that one. And then that's the original sketch. And this is the one that Diego did. And with the families at the bottom corners as well. When I look at this mural, I see variations of the principle of design. For starters, I see where he put a focal point right here. These two are symmetrical. You can see up here where it's variety of one color. You can see where...
After the unveiling of the mural, one of Rivera's patrons asked him to remove Lenin on the mural. When Rivera refused, he was paid in full and fired. The mural was left incomplete and eventually chiseled off the wall. 8 decades after the mural's destruction at Rockefeller Center, the mural was recreated and displayed in the Museo de Palacios de Bellas Artes on November 29, 1934, Mexico City. Men at the Crossroads interpreted the tensions between art and politics. On April 24, 1933, the New York World Telegram newspaper wrote an article about how the mural was anti-capitalist propaganda. After Rivera was fired, there were many protests to move the mural to the Museum of Modern Art. However, it was destroyed in 1934. The destruction caused widespread controversy. This dispute inspired many other artists. The New Yorker magazine published E.B. White's poem, I Paint What I See, a ballad of artistic integrity on May 20, 1933. The historical event also appeared in many movies. Men at the Crossroads is one of the most infamous artworks that has ever been, an example of how an artist has different intentions than the person commissioning the artwork.
In summary, Diego Rivera was someone you could say was controversial because of his creative manner and approach. He disregarded what people had to say about his artwork, which indeed made Diego Rivera one of the most famous artists of the 20th century. A man who not only had a radical way in a political approach, but which he also portrayed in his artwork. But he also lived a radical life. He married another artist, which we all know is Frida Kahlo. And they were both great artists. And much of Rivera's artwork was destroyed due to its controversial nature. But that is what led him to be so famous during the time. In his life, he did a lot of murals, and most of his art pieces were quite unique and very distinct. Some of his famous artworks include The Flower Seller, The Flower Carrier, Nude with Calia Lilies, and one of his most controversial, to which we talked about earlier in the video, The Man at the Crossroads. Diego Rivera, a man who became successful, who overcame all obstacles, never gave up. Even after they destroyed his art, he kept going. And that's why now we remember him as one of the best artists of the 20th century. Thank you.